Hey guys, welcome back. I have some plants that need some TLC, like this pink panther here, and some plants that just need repotting, so let's go get started. Alright, so I have my soil already mixed up, and I have a bunch of these clear pots from Amazon. And let's go ahead and repot this guy first. So I got this philodendron of some sort a few months ago. It could be, it's not a gloriosum, but I feel like it's related to the gloriosum. If you guys tell me what you guys think this is. It's very pretty. When I first got it, it only had like its growth point. It was no leaves. And as you can see, we've had 3 leaves. And this one completed its life cycle, so it's gone. But I have a new growth point and 2 leaves that look nice and healthy. And some roots that also look very healthy. I got it in perlite, and it's lived in perlite for as long as I've had it, which is at least a few months. Maybe since January, honestly, so like 6 months. And I think she's doing good. It's time to get her in some soil. I really like using perlite as a propagation medium. It is a very, very inexpensive alternative to fluval stratum. It is way cheaper and it's just as good, honestly. But fluval stratum is an aquarium soil, so it is meant to hold a lot of moisture. It's meant to be submerged in moisture, whereas perlite is a whole other beast entirely. I'm not really sure what perlite's made out of. I'll look into that. See those roots? It came with a really huge chunk. You see that? It's huge. Alright, so I untangled it a little bit, but I'm gonna leave the rest of the perlite on there. There we go. And there we go. That should be a pretty decent size. It's focusing on my face, but yeah. That should be a decent size. So I did get a comment that you can't hear me very well in these videos. So I want to invest in a good microphone. Today's the 25th, so maybe in the next couple of weeks I'll have a microphone. Funny story, I actually had a microphone for the intro of my last video, but there's a piece that plugs into the phone, and that piece actually broke off early into the recording of my last video. It just completely broke off, and now my microphone that I did have is broken. So I am hoping to get a new one in the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, I'm talking very loudly, hoping that you can hear me better this time, but we'll see what you guys think, okay? So let me know if this is okay. Like I said, it's only for short term. All right. I think it's gonna be a lot happier. It's gonna be a lot happier in this medium. Perlite's great for propagating, but it doesn't have any nutrients. I do water with Super Thrive water and liquid dirt, but can't replace the real thing. That's the first one. Let's see what else. We have this anthurium. I also got it at a plant swap, and it's put out this new leaf, but I honestly don't know what it is. It's a strappy leaf anthurium. The previous owner had it outside and told me that a caterpillar had gotten to it. But overall, I think it's a very beautiful plant. We have some roots coming out the bottom. So it is time to resize. Pot up. I don't have very many Anthurium, even though I am sporting this gorgeous shirt, this Anthurium shirt from Tropics Narcotics. Not sponsored, but maybe one day. I do love Anthurium. For the most part, I'm good at caring for my Anthurium, but I don't have very many Anthurium in the first place, so maybe I'll do a video of my Anthurium collection. What do you guys think of that? Look at those roots. Beautiful. Like I said in my last video, I really like clear pots to where I can see the roots. So this nice clear pot from Amazon, I have a whole bunch of them. I love that I can see the roots. It's like a crystal clear pot. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description. I think it is such a necessity for me, somebody who is prone to underwatering and overwatering and overall just kind of being all over the place. So I do love having an easy window into looking at the roots. Here. She looks good. Hopefully loves her new home. I will water them deeply after this, and they'll take some time to get used to the new soil. Overall, I think they're gonna be super happy in their new pots. All right, so I have two propagations in Fluval stratum here. This one is a philodendron Thai sunrise. At least it was. My mother plant had gotten real tall, and at the base it started rotting. So I chopped it up. We have a few propagations here. It looks like we have a little bit of that original variegation, but not much. It didn't keep much of that variegation, sadly, but that's okay. I think it's still a very pretty plant. Hopefully we get a few more variegated leaves, but overall, I think it's growing really cute. It's nice and bushy, and it's time to be repotted in soil. Look at those roots. So I do have, I had leca at the bottom of that pot, and the leca was meant to act as kind of a reservoir for the water. Let's see, 3 cuttings, 1, 2, 3. I have 4 cuttings. And I'm just gonna repot them all together. I like how bushy it is, so I'm gonna keep them together and let it stay bushy for longer. All right, so this one is leaning over. I might end up putting a stick for it to support it. I'll be right back. All right, I am back with a glass stir rod that I like to put in these to have like a clear support system for them. And now it doesn't want to fall over. How cute is that? All right. Next up, I have this propagation of what was a freebie in one of my online orders, and it was labeled as an esqueleto. I don't believe it's an esqueleto, but it's still very cute. I think it's just an Adansonii. I had received a node from an online order, and that node turned into a little bit of a plant that shot so many runners that it was just one long vine with no leaves, just a bunch of nodes. And I did chop up that one long vine and propagated it into a bunch of little plantlets. And then I gave away that original plant, so I don't have it anymore, but I did give it to someone with the disclaimer that, hey, I received it as an Esqueleto, but I don't think it's an Esqueleto. It's probably just an Adansonii. It never gave those big, beautiful leaves with the huge holes that Esqueletos tend to have, so who knows? I think a lot of people early in the plant game were a little more optimistic about some of those rarer plants than being realistic. That's okay. We're all in it for the plants. Okay. It looks like I actually have a couple of little maybe pink princess nodes in here. Little one, and this, oh. And I think that's it for those. So this one has 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 9. 9 little plants. Just gonna plop them all into the soil together. Now I do know that the reason that it put out so many runners, that one long runner vine with no leaves, was it didn't have enough light. I had it in my bedroom with a grow light, but I think it wants to go outside. Eventually, it probably will go outside. I don't know, the propagation in stratum was also in my bedroom and it did put out a lot of growth. So we'll see how this does in soil under that same grow light. I've been seeing a lot of people finding Monstera Esqueletos at their big box stores, mostly Walmarts, I think. I've seen it at a lot of Walmarts. Never my Walmarts, unfortunately, but I'm crossing my fingers that one day I do get my lucky Esqueleto at a Walmart. My time will come. I don't want to cover up the little baby leaves, but I do want to plant it deep enough so that it can really stay in place. There we are. All right, so our last one is a Pink Panther Calesia. As you can tell, needs a little TLC. We are throwing all kinds of, just throwing a fit. So let's see what we can do. So fun fact, the Epischia is a relative of the Tradescantia, and it is not an aroid like the philodendrons and monsteras that I have been dealing with so far. So I actually don't really care to see the roots, so I'm going to cut up some of these long vines and propagate them straight into soil. And I'm going to use these opaque pots, just some pots from old plants that I've already got and had. I also just have some of the regular potting soil. I don't want to use too many amendments and things. It's not going to require them. It's not going to benefit from them. So I just want regular potting soil. All right. These have very, very shallow roots and kind of grow like a weed. So what I do is mostly just cut off the top cuts of the vines. So one vine can actually have multiple shoots right here. So we have one vine, but as you can see, we have a shoot here and one here and a couple of little ones up here. See that? It's a very time-consuming, tedious process propagating this plant, but I think it's such a pretty plant that it's worth it. It's worth it. I fill the pot and then I just put the little top cuts into the soil, and over time, with a little bit of watering and nurturing, it will develop its roots and become a very pretty new plant. Is the process tedious? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes, absolutely. I think these plants are so pretty whenever they're small and compact. Obviously not whenever it looks like this, but this is way overgrown. It's been a long time coming. I've put this off for way too long, so it's fine. The last one of those. Now I do have a couple of those pink princess propagations. This one might be a white princess. This one's a pink princess. They are gonna go in one pot together. This little pot here. This pink princess has one root. And it looks kind of dry. So it's actually gonna go back into a propagation of stratum in another pot because I don't want to kill it. Look at how cute this is. All right. Here is what's left of that pink panther. It's mostly just dried bits and long stems. I got all of those top cuttings in soil. We have our anthurium here. Let me know what kind of anthurium you guys think that is, as well as our mysterious philodendron. If y'all want to let me know what kind of philodendron y'all think this is as well, I would really appreciate it. Our other mysterious plants, it's probably just an Adansonii though, I'm like 99.9% sure. And last but not least, we have our Thai constellation, no, sorry, Thai sunrise, upright lemon lime philodendron. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I had a lot of fun repotting these plants, and I know it must have been scary for some of you to watch the pink panther propagations, but trust me, I've done this before. They're gonna turn out great. I will keep you guys updated on their growth, and in due time I will sell those as well as the Gabby propagations from last week. If you haven't already watched that video, click the link here and go check that out, and I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks. Bye.